What if the deepest connection with God isn't found in what most people are doing? What if the place you've been trying so hard to reach can't be accessed by effort, only by entering a way most people overlook? Have you ever felt like there's more to your relationship with God, but you can't quite reach it? Like you pray, you read, you try to stay consistent, but something still feels just out of reach? Not completely distant, but not deeply close either. You believe, you care, you're doing your best, but inside, there's this quiet awareness. There has to be more than this. You see other people talk about intimacy with God like it's something real, something personal, something close, and part of you wants that, but another part of you wonders why it feels harder than it should. Why it feels like you're always approaching, but never quite arriving. So you try to fix it. You think, maybe I need more discipline. Maybe I need more time. Maybe I need to do this better. So you push yourself, longer prayers, more reading, more effort, but instead of feeling closer, you start to feel tired, because now your pursuit of God feels like something you have to maintain, something you have to keep up with, and slowly, what was supposed to feel like connection starts to feel like pressure. And here's what most people don't realize: you can be doing all the right things and still never enter the place you're actually longing for, because that place is not reached by doing more. It's entered differently. If that's where you are right now, trying to get closer to God but feeling like something is missing, I need you to hear this. You're not far from God. You're just approaching Him in a way that keeps you outside of the place you're meant to be. And once you see this, everything changes. Let's go straight to the heart of it. Imagine two people. Both of them believe in God. Both of them care deeply about their relationship with Him. Both of them spend time praying, reading, trying to grow. But internally, they experience two completely different realities. The first person is what we'll call the seeker. They are always trying to get closer to God, always reaching, always pursuing, always moving towards something they feel they haven't fully reached yet. They believe closeness is something ahead of them, something they need to arrive at. So their entire relationship with God is built around movement, more effort, more consistency, more discipline. And when they feel close, it's usually after they've done something right, a good prayer, a strong moment, a focused time. But when they don't feel that, they assume they've lost something. So they try again, harder. But here's what happens over time. Their relationship with God becomes tied to how well they're doing. If they feel focused, they feel close. If they feel distracted, they feel distant. If they perform well, they feel connected. If they don't, they feel far. So even though they're constantly seeking, they never feel settled, because they're always trying to get somewhere. Now, meet the second person. We'll call them the dweller. They still pray. They still read. They still care. But something about their posture is different. They are not trying to reach God. They are living with Him. They don't see closeness as something ahead of them. They see it as something they're already inside of. So instead of constantly moving toward God, they remain. They stay. They dwell. And because of that, their relationship with God feels steady, not dependent on how they feel that day, not shaken by how well they performed, but grounded. They don't rush through moments with God. They rest in them. They don't try to create connection. They recognize it. And when they get distracted, when they lose focus, they don't panic. They return. Because in their mind, they didn't leave a place. They just shifted their attention. And here's the truth that separates these two people. The difference is not how much they do. The difference is where they live. One is always trying to enter. The other already dwells. And that leads us to the place most believers never enter. Not because it's hidden, not because it's far away, but because it requires a shift most people never make. That place is not built on effort. It's built on presence. It's what many would call the secret place, but not in the way most people think. Because when people hear secret place, they imagine a physical setting, a quiet room, a private moment, a specific time of day. But the secret place is not a location. It's a posture. It's not somewhere you go. It's where you remain. And that changes everything. Because if you think the secret place is something you visit, you will always feel like you're leaving it. But if you realize the secret place is something you live in, you begin to carry it with you. Here is the truth that can set you free today. The secret place is not where you go to meet God. It's where you live with Him. Let that sink in. Because most people are trying to enter something that was never meant to be temporary. They think, I need to get into the secret place. But the reality is, you were invited to live there. And the reason so many never experience it is because they keep approaching it like a moment, instead of a mindset, like a routine, instead of a relationship. Think about it this way. If you only connect with someone when you enter a specific room, at a specific time, for a specific duration, that's not dwelling, that's visiting. But if that person is with you throughout your day, in your thoughts, your moments, your awareness, that's different. That's living together. And that's what the secret place actually is. Not isolation, but awareness. Not escape, but presence. Not a moment you create, but a reality you recognize. And once you see that, everything begins to shift. You stop chasing something ahead of you, and you start recognizing what's already available to you. And in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly how to live from this place, in a real, practical way. So you stop visiting God occasionally, and start dwelling with Him consistently. So how do you actually live in this? How do you move from visiting God to dwelling with Him? Because this is where everything shifts. Not in understanding the idea, but in changing how you respond in real moments. Because if you don't change the way you relate, you'll keep slipping back into the same pattern, trying to enter, trying to recreate a moment, trying to feel something again, instead of living from what's already available. So this isn't about doing more. It's about seeing differently, and then responding differently. Here are 5 powerful switches that will help you stop visiting the secret place and start living in it. Switch 1. From entering to remaining. Most people think like this. I need to enter the presence of God. But that mindset quietly creates distance. Because if you need to enter, it means you believe you're currently outside. So here's the shift. Stop trying to enter. Start remaining. You are not moving toward God. You are becoming aware of Him. That's a completely different posture. Real life example? You start your day. Instead of thinking, I need to get into God's presence, you simply acknowledge, you're already here. That one thought changes everything, because now you're not trying to reach something, you're recognizing something. Another example, you feel distracted. Instead of trying to get back into it, you gently return your awareness, not to a place, but to a person. Sample prayer. God, help me stop trying to enter and teach me to remain aware of you. Switch 2. From moments, knife style. Many people treat connection with God like a moment they need to create, a quiet time, a prayer session, a focus block. And those moments matter. But when they become the only way you relate to God, everything else feels disconnected. So here's the shift. Stop limiting connection to moments. Start living it as a lifestyle. Not something you do occasionally, something you carry constantly. Real life example, you're working. Instead of waiting for your next time with God, you bring awareness into what you're already doing. A thought, a whisper, a simple acknowledgement. God, you're with me in this. Now your day is no longer separate from your relationship. It becomes part of it. Another example, you're walking, waiting, transitioning between tasks. Instead of filling every gap, you allow those small spaces to become points of connection, not forced. Just natural. Sample prayer. God, teach me to walk with you, not just meet you in certain moments. Switch 3. From effort. Number 2. Awareness. This is one of the biggest shifts. Because many people associate closeness with effort. If I try harder, I'll feel closer. But effort without awareness often leads to exhaustion. So here's the shift. Stop trying to create closeness. Start becoming aware of it. Because closeness is not something you produce. It's something you recognize. Real life example, you're praying, but you don't feel anything. Instead of pushing harder, you pause and simply acknowledge, you're here, even if I don't feel it. That's awareness. And awareness sustains connection far more than effort ever could. Another example, you feel disconnected. Instead of assuming something is wrong, you shift your attention. Because often, it's not absence, it's distraction. Sample prayer. God, open my awareness to your presence, even when I don't feel it. Switch 4. From chasing feelings, trusting presence. A lot of people unknowingly chase a feeling. They want to feel peace, feel closeness, feel something spiritual. And when they don't, they assume something is missing. so they try to recreate that feeling. But feelings come and go. Presence doesn't. So here's the shift. Stop chasing feelings. Start trusting presence. God's nearness is not based on your emotions. It's constant. Even when it feels quiet. Real life example. You have a powerful moment with God one day. The next day, you don't feel the same thing. Instead of thinking, I lost it, you remind yourself, His presence didn't change. My feelings did. And that keeps you grounded. Another example. You feel numb. Instead of trying to force emotion, you stay present anyway. Because connection is not built on intensity. It's built on consistency. Sample prayer. God, help me trust your presence even when I don't feel anything. Switch 5. From leaving to returning. This is what makes everything sustainable. Because you will get distracted. You will lose awareness. You will have moments where you feel far. That's normal. But here's the difference. Most people think they've left, so they try to find their way back. But the truth is, you didn't leave. You just stopped noticing. So here's the shift. Stop thinking you've left. Start practicing return again and again, gently, without pressure, without self-judgment. Real-life example. You realize hours have passed without thinking about God. Instead of saying, I've been disconnected all day, you simply say, I'm here again. That's it. That's the move. That's the lifestyle. Another example. You feel spiritually off. Instead of analyzing it, you return your attention. Because connection is not about perfection. It's about return. Sample prayer. God, teach me to return to you quickly and gently. When you begin to live with these shifts, something starts to change. Your life doesn't become quieter. Your schedule doesn't suddenly open up, but your experience inside it becomes different. Because now, you're not trying to create a place with God. You're living from one. You're not visiting occasionally. You're dwelling consistently. And once that becomes real, everything begins to settle. In the next part, we're going to bring this all together and show you what life actually feels like when you stop chasing the secret place and start living in it. When you begin to live this way, something changes inside you, not dramatically, not all at once, but quietly, steadily, deeply. The striving starts to fade. That constant feeling that you need to get somewhere spiritually begins to loosen its grip, because you're no longer living as someone trying to reach God. You're living as someone who is already with Him, and that changes how everything feels. You stop rushing through your relationship with God. You stop treating connection like something fragile, something that can be easily lost the moment life gets distracting. Because now you understand something deeply. The secret place was never a temporary moment. It was always meant to be a way of living. And once that becomes real to you, your entire inner world starts to settle. You feel less pressure, less spiritual anxiety, less urgency to do more. Because you're no longer trying to manufacture connection. You're recognizing it. And that recognition creates rest. Not laziness, not passivity, but deep internal rest. The kind that comes from no longer feeling like your relationship with God depends entirely on your effort. You begin to notice something unexpected. Even ordinary moments feel different now. Small moments, quiet moments, in-between moments. Things that used to feel empty now feel full. A walk feels different. A pause feels different. Even a deep breath can feel like connection. Because your awareness has changed. You're no longer separating your life from your relationship with God. You're living them together, and that changes everything. You stop dividing your day into spiritual moments and regular moments, because all of it becomes shared. A conversation, a task, a challenge, a decision. None of it feels separate anymore. God is not something you visit in certain moments. He becomes part of everything. And because of that, your connection starts to feel natural, not forced, not fragile, not dependent on atmosphere, just real. Consistent, alive. You also stop panicking when you feel distracted. This is huge, because before, the moment you lost focus, you assumed you had lost connection, so you felt pressure to get back. But now, you understand the difference. You didn't leave. You just shifted your attention. So instead of spiraling, you simply return. Again and again, without drama, without guilt, without making it complicated. And that simple practice changes your entire rhythm with God. Connection becomes sustainable. Not because you become more disciplined, but because you've stopped making connection harder than it needs to be. And over time, this creates something powerful: stability, a groundedness that doesn't disappear every time your emotions shift. You stop chasing spiritual highs. You stop depending on strong feelings to feel close to God, because now you trust presence more than emotion. You know He is here whether you feel it strongly or not, and that trust deepens everything. Your faith becomes quieter, but stronger, less performative, more rooted, more real. You stop trying to create spiritual intensity and start living with quiet awareness. And strangely, that quiet awareness often leads to deeper intimacy than all your striving ever did. Because intimacy was never built through force. It grows through presence, through remaining, through awareness. And when that becomes your lifestyle, you finally experience what you were longing for all along. Not just moments with God, but a life with Him. That is the secret place, not an escape from your life, but a way of living inside it, with Him. Always. Hear this clearly today. The secret place is not reserved for spiritually elite people. It is available to anyone willing to stop striving and start remaining, including you, right now. Not when you become more disciplined, not when life slows down, not when you feel more spiritual. Now, exactly as you are. You can make the shift today, not by doing more, but by seeing differently. Even now, you can whisper something simple. God, teach me to stop visiting you like you're far away. Help me live aware that I'm already with you. Let that be your starting point. Not a new routine, not a harder system, a new posture. From striving to remaining. From chasing to dwelling. From visiting to living with Him. If this message spoke to you, do one thing right now. Go down to the comments and type, "I dwell, I don't chase." Let that be more than a comment. Let it become your reminder, your new mindset. And if you know someone who feels like they're constantly trying to get closer to God, share this with them, because this might be the shift they've been needing. If you want more simple, freeing, life-changing truths like this, subscribe to Bible Resolve and turn on the notification bell. You don't have to keep trying to enter what you were invited to live in. I'll see you in the next one.